All right, my friends, so it's been a little bit of time since you and I have done some camera news reviews, and this time we're actually spreading out. We're not just doing Canon stuff. Oh no. But we're going to start with Canon stuff. So let's head over here. First off, Canon Rumours actually posted just today in regards to what could be Canon's upcoming roadmap for their lenses in 2021. Now, there's some cool lenses in here. Talking anywhere from the 70-200 f4, which is a nice lens, to the very inexpensive 50mm 1.8 STM RF lens, because you and I need another 1.8 50mm in our kit. But there's some really nice looking Canon glass, RF glass, that looks to be kind of coming out, as well as some TSR glass, which is tilt shift with autofocus. So we'll just leave this up on the screen here for you guys. If this is of interest to you, you may want to be saving some of your pennies if any one of these lenses strikes your fancy, I guess. I am definitely interested for sure in the 10-24 f4 as well as the 14-35. Probably the 14-35, 24mm 1.8, yes, 35mm 1.2. Very cool, probably outside of my price point, but the 35mm is always a lens that I think I would like in my kit. Now, the other interesting piece of information that came out on Canon Rumours website just a couple days ago was in regard to this new 21 megapixel sensor that looks like it could be headed toward the R system. Now, this is an early rumor, and because of that, we don't know if there's any kind of validation before it. But if you do look at some of the specs on it, and there's one in particular, and this is really big, especially for those of us that shoot video, because I know with photographers, resolution is really important to you, but in regards to video, not as much. We are looking at a 21 megapixel full frame sensor, 121 dBs dynamic range, which translates, here it is the big one, translates to 20 stops of dynamic range. Wow. That would be unheard of. 20 stops of dynamic range in an R camera system. So I don't know if this would be like a cine body or something like an R5 or R6 Mark II, or if they would come out with something totally new to put the sensor in. But very, very interesting to see what they're doing. And I think with some of the backlash possibly that Canon got in regards to their dynamic range, especially with the Sony A7S III coming out with such a high dynamic range and doing a lot of the stuff that us Canon supporters were hoping for, this could be something that they're really going to want to kind of push. But we actually have some non-Canon news. And again, it's funny because it came out on the actual Canon Rumours site. So this information is in regards to the new Nikon Z9 specifications. And again, just rumors, speculation. We're kind of at that point in time, just like when the Canon R5 first announced that, oh, look, we're going to do 8K. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, what's going to be crippled when this happens? And we kind of know now where the cripple hammer landed. But let's go over some of these specs. Let's start at the top. Nikon Z9 expected fall of 2021. So we are looking at a camera that isn't going to be coming out for at least a year. No official plans for Nikon Z8. Just right to Z9. Cool. Prototype Z9 cameras may be tested at the Tokyo Olympics next year. New Nikon Z400mm f2.8. Again, cool. But here it is. Z9 is described as a D6 body combined with an EOS R5 imaging. 46 megapixels. Previous rumor was that it was going to be upwards of 60 megapixels, but 46 and 46 I think are just fine. 20 frames per second, so good and fast. And here we go, 8K 30p, 4K 120, 4K 60, 4K 30. One of the ones that they don't have here, which is a little weird, is 4K 24. Hopefully that's just an omission that didn't make it to the article, because not having 4K 24 would just be absolutely ridiculous. Most people shoot in 4K 24 if they want any kind of cinema out of it. But 8K 30. So are they going to have any kind of heating issues? I don't know. New X-Speed processor designed for 8K. So that's kind of nice. They're using a processor specifically designed for that. Whereas Canon with the R5 used the Digic 10 processor, which was previously used in a camera. It just seemed to work for 8K. So they're getting a specifically designed processor for 8K. Improved autofocus, 2 XQD CFX Type B memory cards, ISO 64 to 25600 with a high 1 and high 2, high resolution blackout-free EVF, new interface, new battery, gigabit LAN, USB-C, Wi-Fi, GPS, with an expected price point of somewhere between $6,000 and $7,000 US. So seems like a whole lot of camera, and sometimes there's benefit of not being first. So we saw with Canon a lot of speculation. There was a lot of hip hip hooray, I guess. I don't know how else to say it in regards to the R5 and the R6, especially the R5. But there was a lot of issues that came out because of being first. Now other companies get to see where Canon failed and try to improve on it. And I can guarantee that if Nikon brings out this camera with 8K, the first thing, if it doesn't, is that they're going to focus on the heating. They're going to focus on if this has any kind of heating issue, because if it does, that's going to hurt them right out of the gate. If it doesn't, they are going to just hammer that point. They're just going to nail Canon with it continually. So really, really interesting to see what happens with this Z9. That's it, my friends. That's our video today. A little shorter, which is good. But we got some Canon news in there because I like the Canon stuff. Still shooting with my R6. R6 is doing its job very well. I haven't encountered any overheating issues, but I don't shoot necessarily long enough to encounter that. Got some Nikon news here on the channel, which is excellent. And that's all. What do you think? What do you think of the Z9? Is this a camera that looks like it could be on your list? Is it priced a bit too high, between $6,000 and $7,000? That's pretty high for a camera. I was thinking $4,500 US for the R5 was on the expensive side. $6,000 and $7,000. I guess that puts it into the 1D version for Canon. What are your thoughts? Leave them down below. Always interested to see what you guys think. Other than that, I'm out, and we'll see you guys next video. Probably coming up tomorrow. Later, guys.